right, so on to the next topic. A certain individual that plays for the Houston Rockets requested a trade. Russell Westbrook. What's y'all feelings and thoughts about this? Let's start off with Spence.
Um, for Rush, I guess I get it. I believe, because the Rockets are just starting over everything. New coach, new GM, new everything. So I guess the players that's been there, they're getting kind of worried, like, okay, where is this going? Or we're rebuilding, or what we're doing. So in Russell's eyes, I get it. Like, yeah, I'm pretty good right now. But for where's he going, I have no idea. I mean, he can go anywhere, typically, because you're an all-star. You 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 lead in triple doubles like 2 seasons ago. Your scoring average is still up there and everything. But the problem that most teams are probably gonna have with Mr. Westbrook right here is he going to be a team player? Because he's really hero ball, really. It's like him and him only. He'll get the team involved if he needs to, but if it's not, it's me, myself, and I versus the world. Right now, they have reports that the Knicks and the Clippers are very interested in this. If it's the Clippers, well, it's not going to be as what people think it is. It's really one comes, other one leaves. So, the most sense it will probably make is the Knicks, but for him, I doubt he wants to go to Knicks, because even though it's the East, and the East is not really a hole by any means, but it's a little bit more easier than the West, I believe. I don't think he's going to do with that kind of team. With that, I don't think he's going to do that much of a rebuild, because if that was the case, he might as well stay with the Thunders. So, it's interesting, gentlemen. I have no idea where he can land. If I'm the Clippers, I would rather get Rondo or at least Drew Holiday. I get it. I get it. Westbrook's a superstar, but man, you got to think about longevity and actually what your team needs, because man, him on the Clippers, I'm telling you, if he goes on Clippers, one comes in, the other one leaves. So it's either two like off the bench like Patrick Beverly Lou, or it's what is this? Regular season P. So that is my take.
All right, Trey.
Russell Westbrook. So I was looking at some stats earlier, and uh, pretty much he actually averaged more this year in Houston than he did his last 2 seasons in OKC. So, I mean, I guess that's not necessarily the issue. The issue is that to me, from what I see, is him and Harden, they're ball dominant. I don't think Russell plays that well off the ball as he does. He pretty much he needs to possess the ball in his hands pretty much every single play. And obviously, Harden that's not gonna happen. That's Harden's show pretty much. Uh, I thought it was I thought it wasn't gonna work out to begin with because of that same reason that they both are ball dominant, they both need the ball. I do understand that they're friends or whatever, so they made it work for the season. Thanks to Harden, Russell Westbrook has made it out of the first round for the first time since KD left them in OKC. So he has to at least give thanks to Harden for that. But
Right.
I didn't see this being a long-term marriage anyways. They tried it out, didn't really go, I guess, the way they expected it to go. They looked a lot better in the regular season than they even did in the bubble. Um, as far as potential landing spots, yeah, I see the reports about the Knicks, the Clippers. What does that really do for the Clippers though? You're going to trade PG, and then you're going to have Westbrook and Kawhi, which I guess that'll help Kawhi because Kawhi doesn't want kind of like that attention. Kawhi to me is not really like an alpha, like he doesn't want to be the leader of a team. He just wants to go hoop, more or less, which he does a good job at. but I don't think Kawhi is really meant to be like that star player like that with all that spotlight. It worked, I guess, with the Raptors, but you can argue that the Raptors have been like the number one team in the East for like the past
I was like
6,
6.
7, 6 years. Like
Yeah.
even when LeBron was still over there, they were the number
Yeah,
one
that's
seed.
just
They just couldn't get past LeBron. So
past LeBron.
Kawhi
Yeah.
just kind of gave them that, that next step over. But as far as Westbrook though, that'd be big for the Knicks just because of star value and everything, and they can't seem to land a star. So I could see it. Now, as far as him wanting to go there, I don't think he would want to go there. But the thing is, when you're getting traded, that means you're under contract. We're going
So
to
you have no
trade you
choice.
where we're going to get the best value. So if the Knicks are going to offer the house for Westbrook, guess what? That's where you're going. You figure it out on your own after that. But to me, if I'm the Rockets, honestly, what I possibly would consider, because I feel like you get more value for, I'd move Harden potentially. You're going to get
I think
more back in return for Harden than what you are for Westbrook.
I think they're going to do it with both, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's a possibility if you're just going to blow the whole thing up. But then
Might as
again, I
well.
guess it makes sense because Harden is a free agent next season.
Yeah.
So just clean shop now, see what you can get for both of them, and
just hope for the
future.
just hope for the best. Might as well because both of them are up. We knew that once Mike D'Antoni leave, we knew that Harden's going to leave. Harden's not going to make a new coach, especially somebody that's not going to fit the offense that he runs. So that was already the case. And if I'm them, man, Kawhi, like I told y'all, Kawhi is like, for all my anime fans, I believe he's like One Punch Man. He's just there, just chilling, not really being nonchalant. And then when you need him, he'll do what you need him to do. But other than that, he'll be like, whatever.
Well, I mean, my whole take on this, for one, I heard the same reports. The only other team that I haven't heard y'all say was the Charlotte Bobcats were a potential trade target. Now, realistically,
Bobcats, hold up.
Yeah.
The Hornets.
Well, they're the Hornets now. But
yeah.
But I get what you're saying. But I didn't hear that. Really?
I seen a report on that was a potential.
Well, I mean, he is a Jordan athlete, so
exactly. So, it would make sense, but I've definitely heard the New York part. So, I mean, I think he'd probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy. I like Westbrook as a player, like his energy. He's one of the players that looked up to Kobe and kind of has that mentality that Kobe has, but fortunately he's not always so much productive in terms of like the team overall success.
He's gonna get his triple double.
Yeah, he's gonna get his points, but in terms of everybody else,
he gonna get his.
But for him to go to New York,
you better get yours.
That would definitely be. I think it would be an ideal spot, even though I don't think the New York Knicks would do much with him if they obtain him. As far as like you were talking about him going to the Clippers, I don't think that'd be a good one. Like y'all said, Chris Paul, Rondo, those kind of point guards would be more suitable for Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard, he's just more of the I'll do work on the court, but he's not so much as in like the raw or the leader to help orchestrate.
He's not vocal.
Yeah. So it's just, the Clippers ideally need, a Chris Paul to come back, or, a Rondo that, can help facilitate and just get the offense going. Kawhi can get to his spots and take his shots from time to time, but not so much to where it's like the offense is so dependent on him. But ideally, I would like Chris Paul to go to the Clippers. I think that would make the most sense. But other than that, he could potentially go to the Knicks. But then again, if he doesn't want to go there, the way that the NBA star players usually kind of have the say so on where they want to go to, that could also, dictate, you know, where he ultimately goes because as we've seen, NBA players have had more power as
Oh
to
yeah.
their destinations that they want to go, compared to like the NFL where it's we trade you wherever we trade you and that's it. Like you have no say.
I mean,
Right.
unless you're AB. AB told us straight up he wasn't going to the Bills.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was one thing. That was one thing. Yeah, there's not that many players at his caliber at that
I'm
time
not going to Bills.
that can say that because everybody else that we've seen throughout the NFL, they usually get traded and they're like, "This was unexpected. I didn't hear anything about it," and they just, they understand the nature of the business. But
I'm going to Bills. That's funny.
um, speaking of the Toronto Raptors that Trey had mentioned, there's been talk that they may be coming to Tampa Bay. What do y'all think about that? We'll go ahead and start off with Trey on this one.
The Tampa Bay
Wait,
Raptors.
go ahead, say it. The Tampa Bay Raptor, TBR.
Don't sound bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not
Um,
bad. That's not bad.
um, I mean, I can see it. I mean, look at the city right now. You had the Lightning win the Stanley Cup. You had the Rays make it
To the World Series.
to the World Series, and I mean they lost, but they still made it there.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks are going to make the
Hosting
playoffs.
Super
Look like
Bowl.
for the first time since what 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's been that long.
it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a
So
while.
I mean, you know, most people said they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but no, I'm going to say they're going to at least make the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So it looks like the city as a whole has been up, and Tampa as a whole has been. It's a growing city at that. So I think this more so what this is for. I think it's bigger than just the Raptors being here because Canada's not allowing sports, and the Raptors are not going to be able to play in Canada this season. But I think this is kind of like a test for Tampa. I feel like now, obviously, with COVID, it's going to be a limited amount of people that would be able to attend anyways. But I think this is kind of like a test to see what the market is for a basketball team out here. I feel like if enough people are attending, if they're selling out the seats that are allotted, because it's like I said, it's going to be a limited capacity. But if there's enough interest in this market in Tampa that they can tap into, don't be surprised if in the next few years that either maybe possibility of an expansion team for Tampa as a whole, or if there's another team that maybe they're not doing so good in their market and they end up losing their team, kind of like what happened with the Seattle Supersonics, ended up becoming Oklahoma City Thunder, something like that. But I think this is all more so. I'm looking at it bigger than just okay, the Raptors are going to borrow Tampa for a season. That's cool or whatever. But I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more so this is a test run to see what this market can do, what it would do with a basketball team. Because I mean, you got the Orlando Magic. There's quite a few Magic fans here, but there's some who don't really care because it's not Tampa. They not really, they not supporting it. So I think we'll see. The Raptors out here, they're gonna be losing a couple pieces too. So I don't know what they're gonna look like come this season. Uh, Possibly they can sign some free agents and make it interesting, but uh, I think they do. I think they do all right out here in this market. I know there's a lot of people down here who like basketball. So if for that alone to be able to go see NBA basketball, you might not even go to see them per se. You might go to see the Raptors versus whoever they're playing without having to drive to Orlando or have to drive to Miami. It being right there in our backyard in Tampa makes it easier for you to see other teams that you might be a fan of. So I think even just for that, it should do all right. but I'm not like I said, I'm not just looking at it like just the Raptors are playing down here. Like I said, I feel like it's a deeper meaning to it, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm right.
Right. Go ahead, Vic. I gotta get some real quick.
All right. So my whole take on this, for one, pretty much Trey, you hit on a lot of points that I was going to mention, especially the last one about, a lot of Orlando Magic fans are typically here in Tampa. Um, by default, they're Orlando Magic fans. But if we had a Tampa team, they would definitely be more so a fan of that team.
Right.
Uh, they've had more downs and up seasons, but I know I can say for a fact I don't really care for the Magics, but if they're doing good in the playoffs, I'll root for them, but I really don't care so much. But if it's a Tampa team, then it'd be a little different story. I might be more on board with that. Now, also, I know how you said this might be a trial to see how a team would do in Tampa, but I also think it might be a little deeper. And potentially, because I know I've heard some rumblings about, you know, players from Toronto, well, that play with Toronto, not from Toronto, that they, you know, not saying like they're bashing Toronto to say like having to be over in Canada, but what if this is a potential like we sweep, Toronto to Tampa Bay, and then that becomes the new location.
Oh, so you're saying like a permanent move
Yeah, permanent.
potentially
Like it's a test trial to see how they do, but this eventually, could lead to where the Toronto
instead of it
Raptors.
being in Toronto, there in
Yeah.
Tampa. Like,
So I
I
mean,
mean,
they can eventually make another team over in Toronto at some point, which we've seen OKC. How that transpired. Now money talks, so if the money sounds good, I'm sure they'd be willing to do business, and there could be an expansion, team for Toronto up there, and they can have some other team that we don't know yet, but it's a possibility. But for the most part, that's just something that I was thinking that they are test trialing this to see if maybe having Tampa having a basketball team, which the sports have been doing good. Now, although I can say I'm not too sure about the attendance. Although you did mention about the whole COVID, but even prior to COVID, just saying like for the Bucks games. Now Lightning games, that's a different story. I know those are jam packed, especially during the playoffs. Um, Baseball, it's so. A lot of people
but see, baseball, I think is because you have to go
go
to
to
St.
St. Pete.
Pete.
Yeah,
If
so that's
they're actually in Tampa,
yeah.
I feel like people will attend.
I agree with that. I agree with that because sometimes, like I'd be more willing to go to a Lightning game than I would be more so to go to a.
That is that I get you and you're right, but that's most of Tampa, and that's my issue. This is why I forever troll the Bucks, and not y'all, not like well, not you, like you know what I'm talking about. Like I know some real true Bucks fans who season ticket holders. They were out there the last 5 years when y'all sucked in the rain, watching the game faithfully, but a lot of Tampa fans, they're fair weather fans. And that's my issue. Basically, what you're saying is depending on how the Tampa Raptors are doing,
Yeah,
that will determine the attendance. They're
yeah.
not gonna go if they suck. That
Mm.
that's no, that's not fandom for me. Like that's not. I'm
Yeah.
rocking regardless.
It's gonna be tough for that first year just because again, like
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it
COVID.
essentially would be like a new thing, but I'm just saying in general,
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, yeah. That's my whole thing with most Tampa sports. Is just that's why I don't get on board with it because there's a lot of fair weather shit, and I'm not.
yeah.
No,
I mean, you also got to think about this too. It's kind of like going to geographic of the area. Most Tampa people, especially we're all born and raised in Tampa.
well,
We
y'all
grew up
are.
in New York, California, all that stuff. So like most of the people that are fans in Tampa are actually not from Tampa. Like a lot of Boston
Well,
people.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Tampa is a melting pot, so you get
So
people who come from like
yeah.
there's a lot of Giants fans down here, like you said, because there's a lot.
Uh,
We get a lot of New Yorkers. So
so
when it,
that's why, yeah, that's
I
why
get
like, you were saying like, and I'm not trying to defend it because, it is what it is. I know exactly how it is. I think that's kind of like a unfair criticism that a lot of people have about Tampa, but that's just because we have so many people that are New York fans, Giants, Yankees, Boston. I mean,
yeah,
anything you could
Yeah,
think about,
yeah,
they're here.
yeah,
And all
yeah.
the fans that are from Tampa, they're spread out all throughout because, well, again, this goes into a whole different topic, but that's just the whole finances and stuff like that. Like job opportunities are easier, going up north or to California or wherever compared to more so here. But yeah, that's just my take on that. um,
All right,
yeah,
Spence.
Well, this is like you guys hit on. This is probably a good test run for us. I mean, you got to think about it. World Series. We were at the World Series. Lightning, Stanley Cup champions. Super Bowl is here.
Well, yeah,
Um,
the Super Bowl is here. I forgot about that.
yeah,
yeah, Super Bowl is here.
Y'all won't be in it, but it's here.
Well, Super Bowl is here. Also in the next 2 years, and you also have to think about next year. WrestleMania is here. The year after that, the men's Final Four is here. So it's a big marketing of seeing how Tampa can
Tampa's
handle with a
growing.
lot of people.
Tampa is definitely growing. It's a
And
growing city.
so they're maybe this is a test run to see like, okay, let's see if they have their own basketball team because we can. I mean, you got to think about the Rays Stadium. The new Rays Stadium is getting built near Ybor, so they're gonna. That's why I call it Raybor. All right, so like all that and that together is just a big news. Like the Rays are going to be in downtown. The Lightning is also downtown. So we're trying to see because with the NHL season, they can use the Amalie Arena. They can use the Amalie Arena, so they can do that and see how that goes. Tampa Bay Raptors, guys. I never lived in a city that did not have a basketball team, and now they might have one. So I find that it's very interesting. Now will that be a lot of basketball teams in the state of Florida? That's two. I mean that's three if you counted that.
It's really only one when it comes to basketball. So the
I mean,
Magic,
yeah.
the Magic,
I mean, there's really one, but I mean, we counting the second one, but the world wants to count them. But I'm saying all together, that's three. The only place I know that has three basketball teams is in
mm,
LA.
that's gonna be crazy. Both are in the Eastern
Well, four.
Conference.
Yeah,
no.
four.
Well, no, you got Dallas or you got Texas too.
Well,
That's
I'm talking about right now. Like I might be a little bit off,
that's
but
all Texas.
I'm talking about
The Houston Rockets, the Mavericks, and the
Oh, the
Spurs.
Spurs. Yeah, that's right. I forget about the Mavericks. Right, but I forgot about the Mavericks. Right. So, but think about it. California, Texas, big marketing teams, very big marketed.
Well, Florida
So
too. Florida is
exactly.
too. Because you got to think about it. When you think of Florida, I think of Miami. I think Orlando. You think
Right.
of Tampa. I mean, those are. I mean,
Those are
Tallahassee obviously is the capital, but
right. But
Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. Those are like the five. Like those are like the key places when I think of Florida. I think of so.
right.
It only makes sense for me that Tampa would eventually probably get a basketball team.
So yeah. So yeah. Why not? So here's something for the fans. So if we
But
do
hold
get
on,
one,
hold on. I don't think it would stay the Raptors though if it was permanent because there's
that's
no
that's what,
Raptors in Tampa. But I'm just whatever. That's just
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
being picky.
No, of course, because it makes no sense. Of course, some things you gotta make sense. So that's what I'm saying. Like for this video in the comments, what name would you want it to be? The Tampa Bay what?
Gators. No, but I don't like the Florida Gators, so no, we're not gonna use that name.
We'll pick something else. Go. That's it from me, fellas.
One thing that I did want to mention about it is something I thought about. Both teams are obviously in the Eastern Conference. So, come time playoffs,
All of them would be in the East. Yeah.
that's gonna be
All of them
crazy.
will
I
be.
mean, the Magics are the
Oh
Magic.
well, yeah, they're just there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I mean, they
whoa!
made the
Listen,
playoffs this
They
year.
make the playoffs.
I'm gonna say, listen,
I'm
listen,
not.
listen.
I'm not trying
Hold
to
on,
diss them, but
hold on, listen. I am a massive Heat fan. I will say, but we cannot hold. I can't hold the Orlando Magic. They made the playoffs last 2 seasons. They made the playoffs.
they never do nothing. I
I
mean,
mean,
except for
skid it.
that
I mean,
1 year.
they get the 8 seed, but hey, they still make playoffs. They still make
Right.
playoffs, so we can't really give them
They don't
like
really
a
have no
lot of.
stars either, though. So you got to give them credit for that because,
You
like,
got you gotta give them credit. You gotta give them credit. Vucevic, who's been there for like 7 years, just made his first All-Star appearance. Like,
But
they should be trying to trade for Westbrook. Realistically, like, do
to
something.
be honest with you, I wouldn't even want the Magic to get him. To be honest with you, what killed the Magics was injuries. That was really what killed them. It was injuries because they were young and they could score and they were young, but injuries. Jonathan Isaac out. Like Fournier was like hurt. A lot. Aaron Gordon out. Like a lot of players that were younger and coming up, they were actually good. It just got injured. That was the only thing that killed the Magic for me. I mean, of course they'll probably lose to the Bucks, but they would have had a deeper run. To be honest with you.
so my whole thing of what I was getting to was imagine playoff time, Heat versus the Raptors or whatever, Tampa, whatever they want to call them. Imagine the atmosphere and the
Oh
game
man.
that's gonna be like. That's gonna be dope. Like especially for Tampa fans that like, you know, kind of dread having to travel to Orlando and maybe see the Orlando versus the Heat game
Mm-hmm.
got it in our backyard and just
Right,
seeing Miami versus and there's a lot of people here in Tampa that are from Miami too. So
right. And then
yeah,
I think realistically, I just go to a game just because. I mean, it's an NBA game, and like you said, it's right there. So it's like
and
it's in the backyard. So why not?
that drive to Miami to go just see the Heat, man, that's a
Yeah,
drive.
you gotta stay out there basically. Like you gotta plan a
Yeah,
weekend. Like you gotta plan that in advance. You're not
right.
just going out there to. I mean, it's
Watch the
possible. It's
game.
not that far. You
Yeah,
could drive and drive back,
yeah.
but realistically,
Nah, you don't want to do
Nah, you
that.
don't want to do that.
like I just went out to Orlando this past weekend for a night out, celebrate birthday a little early and everything like that. So yeah, after you out there partying and stuff, like we're just talking Orlando, that's an hour drive.
Yeah.
I'm not driving back, got to get a hotel. So yeah, we're talking about Miami, 3-4 hour drive, watch the game. You probably drinking at the game, then you think you're going right. Nah, yeah, you got to plan that. You got to plan that accordingly. So
Mhm.
with it being like you said in the backyard, you could take a Uber or Lyft, go enjoy the
Yeah.
game, and then go come right back to the crib. You ain't got to worry about nothing like that. So it'll be some perks.
Yeah. You can definitely hang out in Channel Side too
Yeah,
after the game, depending on who you rooting for. If
yeah,
you don't care and you just want to have a good time.
yeah. You just want to watch some basketball, some professional basketball up close and
Yeah.
personal. So because I've been to a Magic game before. I've never
I
actually been
have
to
to.
I've never actually been to a Heat game, and that was one of my plans for this year before COVID took over. COVID ruined a lot of my plans this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been at that Dallas game, Pittsburgh Dallas game this year. So,
Yeah.
but
Same.
2021 is going to be
Uh,
better for a lot of us. It's going to be a lot better for everybody.
Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, man.
So, with that being said, anybody else have anything else to say before we go on to the next topic?
No,